Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. This chapter has been taken from Nelson Mandela's book of the same name, Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. It provides a glimpse of the early life of Nelson Mandela, his education, 30 years in prison, and the pains he had undergone in his young age. The chapter recounts his fight for the freedom for his own people who were tortured by whites. Through this chapter, Mandela gives two contradictory pictures of his own country, one in which the blacks were tortured and suffered quietly, and in the second, the blacks will be free to live the life of their own. Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. This chapter has been taken from Nelson Mandela's book of the same name, Nelson Mandela Long Walk to Freedom. It provides a glimpse of the early life of Nelson Mandela, his education, 30 years in prison, and the pains he had undergone in his young age. The chapter recounts his fight for the freedom for his own people who were tortured by whites. Through this chapter, Mandela gives two contradictory pictures of his own country, one in which the blacks were tortured and suffered quietly, and in the second, the blacks will be free to live the life of their own. The lesson is a tribute to those black heroes and patriots who waged a relentless struggle against the apartheid regime of South Africa. Here you find the description of the inauguration ceremony of Nelson Mandela, who has become South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule. Mandela's African National Congress Party won 252 of 400 seats in the first democratic elections of South Africa's history. So the inaugural ceremony, which had been taken place in the United Buildings Amphitheatre in Parousia today, attended by politicians and dignitaries from more than 140 countries around the world. Never, never again will this beautiful land experience the oppression of one by another, said Nelson Mandela in his address. The chapter starts with the inaugural ceremony of Nelson Mandela as the first black president. So the day was 10th of May when he was supposed to take oath. So large number of leaders from around the world, they were present to witness the swearing in ceremony of Nelson Mandela. The inauguration ceremony, it was taken place in the big open building in Parousia, where the first democratic non-racial government was going to be installed there. In the next part of story, you will get the detail about his swearing in ceremony, that means oath ceremony. So Mandela was accompanied by his daughter Janani and Mr. De Klerk. He was the first person who took the oath as a second deputy president, followed by Mr. Thabo Mbeki, who swore as the first deputy president of South Africa. Nelson Mandela, he was sworn as the first black president of South Africa. He took the pledge to obey and uphold the constitution and to devote himself to the well-being of the people. He also promised to make the nation free from poverty, deprivation, suffering, and all sort of the discrimination. Dear children, just like you see in the Republic Day, the military forces, they make show of their strength and power to the world. Similarly, there was a scene of the show off by the military forces of South Africa in its inaugural ceremony. So the South African jets, they displayed the military power. They showed their loyalty of military to this newly elected democratic government. The highest military generals, they saluted him. Now Mandela recalled how the same officials who were saluting him right now had arrested him many years before. So after the salutation, the two national anthems were played. The whites sang Nkosi Sikelel, the old song of the country, and the blacks sang Daistem, the new song which marked the end of the ceremony. The ceremony, Mandela was overwhelmed with the sense of the history. He remembers that how in the past the whites they had formed a system of racial dominance against the blacks. It was the basis of the hard societies which is now overturned. He says that the policy of apartheid, that is, the policy of racial segregation, it had created a deep and lasting wound on his country and the people. It was the harshest and most inhuman society in the world. But now, a new system based on the equality of all men, regardless of their color and race, has replaced the old and cruel system. In the next part, you will find the tribute of Mandela for all the freedom fighters. He regretted about the loss of thousands of people and remembered their sacrifices for the freedom from discrimination. He thought of himself as the sum of all those African patriots who sacrificed their lives before him. He was pained that he could not thank them. He recalls all the freedom fighters of the country like Oliver Tambo, Walter Sisulu, Chief Luthuli, Yusuf Dadu, and many more, who were the men of the uncommon courage, wisdom, and generosity. He said that the country is rich in minerals, but its greatest wealth is its people. Next, Mandela talked about the twin obligations of every man. Obligation means a compulsory duties and responsibilities. He says every man has to perform the duty first towards his family and children, and the another one towards the country where he was born and his countrymen. But in their country, they were not given such privileges. And if any black tried to perform their duty towards their family, community, or the country, so they were punished and isolated. Thus, in South Africa, the blacks were not given the privilege and rights to live the life like a free human being. In the concluding part, Mandela commented about the meaning of the freedom. He says, as a child, he felt to run in the fields and stay out at the nights meant to be the freedom. But when he grew up, he realized that he was actually deprived of the freedom. And not only him, but his other brothers and sisters who looked like him were also deprived of the freedom. That's why he joined the African National Congress. It was his hunger and desire for the freedom of his people and their self-respect that completely changed Mandela's personality into the bolder one. He desired that everyone should be given the right to live this life. He wanted the oppressor and the oppressed to be liberated, as no one is free if one is taking the freedom and the rights of the other. Only such feelings can bring the true freedom for everyone in life. Here he means that life becomes a hell if a person is oppressed and deprived of the freedom. He says that if man is free to do his works, he can bring the better results. So an oppressed person always commits mistakes and unable to perform well. So freedom is important for the growth of human civilization, and it should be enjoyed and given to everyone in the world.